Well, Deontay Foreman, thank you, because I picked him up at the end in my fantasy, and what did he get me? 33 goddamn points. You know what? What did I say? What did I say my last show? I said Brian freaking Hoyer. Brian Hoyer. 106 quarterbacks have won. Hey, Johnny O. Thanks for joining the show today. Any sports you want to talk about, bring it on. JD Talking Sports, drop the G. I'm on Facebook, Twitter. I put up a video, a clip, a 6-second clip. There was a woman dancing at the Miami overtime win over Clemson on Saturday night. And yesterday I was training Gumbo Chef, and I'm like, Gumbo Chef, how many downloads do you think I got? So I think at the time I saw a couple hundred. Then I went to 15,900. Yankee Recaps, he reaches out to me yesterday. He goes, how did you get 128,000 views but only 130 likes? I go, I don't know. Well, we are now over 139.6, almost 140,000 views on this little video I put up on TikTok. JD Talking Sports, drop the G. Also, subscribe to my YouTube page. That's what I'm putting it up. I did a show a little too early, so I didn't get out to Josh right now. But Deontay Foreman, over 33 points. Going into the latter games, I was a 35% chance of winning, and then it just flipped because Pacheco got a touchdown for me. And then at night, Goddard got a touchdown for me. And what did I see? That, first of all, he played with a brace the second half. Jalen Hurts. They get the win. He threw a pick six. Brian Hoyer threw a pick six. Myles Garrett blocked a field goal by jumping over the line of the Colts right here. Jumped over the line. And it wasn't illegal because he didn't touch any of the Colts. He had a game for the ages yesterday, and they won on Kareem Hunt's last-second touchdown, which looked like he barely got in yesterday. So they beat the Colts 39-38. Deshaun Watson smashed it, got pushed down, smashed his head. He was out the game. So it was P.J. Walker, Gardner Minshew, and there was a terrible, terrible Darrell Baker Jr. on an uncatchable ball, in my opinion. There was a lot of calls. There was a lot of missed plays yesterday, but that was egregious. It was out of the end zone. It wasn't even catchable. They called a pass interference, and then there was, before that, P.J. Walker got crushed, which should have been a turnover. And yeah, I guess it was holding, but I was like, it's kind of, I feel like that's a little ticky-tack. But they called it anyway, and they won on a last-second play. And Myles Garrett, first player since at least 2000 with 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a block kick of any kind in a single game. Unbelievable. The Browns defense entered yesterday having allowed the fewest yards allowed, 1,002 into 5 games into a season of any team in 52 years, and they put up 456 and 38 points. But they got the win, so who gives a shit? Who cares about all that stuff? Like yesterday, Eagles were up 17-3. A.J. Brown, what's that? A.J. Brown, 125 receiving yards per game for the last, 5-6 games? And him and Tyreek Hill, the only guys over 800 yards receiving, which blows my mind. And they're 6-1. The 18 defending champions have lost their season opener. The Chiefs are the only one to win 6 straight after the fact. They've won 13 straight division. Jason, they're going to shit. Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. I mean, that was an ugly game. There was a bad call. They called a false start where basically the offensive lineman went up and down in his motion. They called that a false start. I just feel a lot of things happened. There was a ball placement where Pickett did not get the first down, but they used all their timeouts, so they couldn't challenge the Rams. They ended up losing 24-17 to the Steelers. I just feel like every play's got to be reviewed for the integrity of the game. Okay, you used up all your timeouts, so it's not fair. So you used up all your timeouts, and they make a bad call, so it still goes against you. If it's a bad call, it should be a bad call, and it should be reviewed. It has that should happen all the time. Every play should be. You have New York up there. It looks like an egregious call. It looks like a call that could go the other way. Bam, call it. Make it happen. And I'm training Gumbo Chef yesterday. And August tells me during the race, his shoe fell off when he said his PR in the mud. So he had to get his shoe, retrieve it, put it back on. And then someone fainted during the race. He went to go check on him. And he figured, well, the coaches know what they're doing more than I do. And he and he still ran his PR. I was like, dude, that's a hell of a race. So I told, and I was kind of pissed that S-Man's soccer game got the team forfeited, so they didn't even get the game in. I mean, these kids play soccer, man. Even if you don't have enough teams, just let play, then let the kids play. Get the kids out there, forfeited games in a game between a bunch of 7 and 8-year-olds. Play the game, man. I feel like the kids are there. Don't forfeit. Let the kids show up and play a little soccer together. That's what they want to play. But yeah, August, kicking ass and taking aim. Today we have on Mr. Met. I'm excited about. He's a member of the tribe. Jews can say that to each other. Hal called me a bad friend yesterday for bashing him because Adolis Garcia hits a grand slam, and we have Game 7 tonight of the ALCS, and we have Game 6 of the NLCS. So Game 7, Max Scherzer versus, I think it's Javier. Javier's pitching tonight, but they get the win yesterday, and what was it, 9-2? They got Garcia and Abreu, who got suspended, the pitcher for the Astros for 2 games, appealed it, so it's not going to probably go into effect till next season. So this is for all the marbles, man. And road teams have won all 6 games. Last time this happened, going to Game 7, 2019, where Nats beat the Astros in the World Series. So could this be a redo? And, Hal sends me shit all the time on his goddamn Astros, and I call out that they lost a Game 6. And, dude, deal with it. And Quinn Ewers, a shoulder injury, is going to come out a couple of weeks. So, Malik Murphy, the freshman quarterback, is Arch Manning, who's going to play going forward. We're going to a game in 2 weeks. I got a sinus infection, and I was going back in the city yesterday, woke up feeling like crap, and now I'm going to the doctor today because I still don't feel good. And I don't know, I'm on antibiotics, and I feel like shit. I try to sleep. I saw Big Mouth is back on TV, and I was like, the latest season, which is always a goofball show to watch. But I went to sleep during the night, and it's great when you wake up and you soak through your shirts. You're like, what the hell happened? So that a couple times, that's always good. And I can't. Every year UNC destroys me. Every year, Mac Brown. I'm sorry. I'm not a Mac Brown fan. I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of Mac Brown, and he can't lose a game like that. And Drake Brady did not play well. They had a 27-17 lead, and they couldn't hold on. And Virginia came in 1-5. The only one when it was against the FCS William & Mary this season. They come in as a 20-something point underdog, and they come into UNC and beat UNC. Drake May completed 50% of his passes. They had a touchdown that was brought back for a holding penalty, which I thought was kind of a bullshit call. And then they could have kicked a field goal. They were down 31-27. They went for a 4th down. I thought they could have kicked a field goal. Tez Walker did have a good game. Tez Walker had a very good game. But Drake May only completed 50% of his passes. And then at the end of the game, he got hit, and they had an interception, and that was it. And they still could win the division, but they're not going to play for college football playoff. They went from 10-17. I said they should have went to 10-75 to Michigan. Michigan, did you see what happened at Michigan State? Before the game, they put up a trivia question from a third party, of course. And the question was, what country did Adolf Hitler grow up with a picture of Adolf Hitler? And, during these times, anytime, that's a trivia question where you're like, we have millions upon millions of things we can put up before a game. And let's put up, where was Adolf Hitler born? That's a trivia question to put up right now, because that's something that a football game we want to see. And people say, what's the big... It's ridiculous. And they are down 42-0, Michigan State. And Michigan scores it. Let's Orgy, the quarterback, score a touchdown with 8 seconds left. I know it's a rivalry game, and they, the trophy and all that stuff, but that was Bush League, in my opinion. I mean, you're 42-0. You have to score a touchdown at the end like that. Where J.J. McCarthy had 6 incompletions in the game.